The complete works of Swami Vivekananda, Volume 2, Jnana Yoga, Chapter 7, God in Everything. Lecture delivered in London, 27th October 1896. We have seen how the greater portion of our life must of necessity be filled with evils. However, we may resist, and that this mass of evil is practically almost infinite for us. We have been struggling to remedy this since the beginning of time. Yet everything remains very much the same. The more we discover remedies, the more we find ourselves beset by subtler evils. We have also seen that all religions propose a God has the one way of escape these difficulties. All religions tell us that if you take the world as it is, as most practical people would advise us to do in this age, then nothing would be left to us but evil. They further assert that there is something beyond this world, this life in the five senses, life in the material world. In not all, it is only a small portion and merely superficial. Behind and beyond is the infinite in which there is no more evil. Some people call it God, some Allah, some Jehovah, some Jovi, and so on. The Vedantin call it Brahman. The Vedantin call it Brahman. The best impression we get of the advice given by religions is that we had better terminate our existence. To the question how to cure the evils of life, the answer appears is give up life. It reminds one of the old story. A mosquito settled on the head of a man, and a friend wishing to kill the mosquito gave it such a blow that he killed both man and mosquito. The remedy of evil seems to suggest a similar course of action. Life is full of ills. The world is full of evils. That is a fact no one who is old enough to know the world can deny. But what is the remedy purposed by all the religions? That this world is nothing. Beyond this world is something which is very real. Here comes the difficulty. The remedy seems to destroy everything. How can that be the remedy? Is there no way out then? The Vedantas say that what all the religions advise is perfectly true, but it should be properly understood. Often it is misunderstood because the religions are not very clear in their meanings. What we really want is head and heart combination. The heart is great indeed. It is through the heart that comes the great inspiration of life. I would I would 100 times rather have a little heart and no brain than be all brains and no heart. Life is possible. Progress is possible for him who has heart. But he who has no heart and only brains dies of dryness. At the same time, we know that he who is carried along by his heart alone has to undergo many ills. For now and then, he is liable to tumble into pitfalls. The combination of head and heart is what we want. I do not mean that a man should compromise his heart for his brain or vice versa, but let everyone have an infinite amount of heart and feeling and at the same time an infinite amount of reason. Is there any limit to what we want in the world? Is not the world infinite? There is room for an infinite amount of feeling, and so also for an infinite amount of culture and reasons. Let them come together without limit. Let them be running together as it were in parallel lines, each with the other. The most of the religions understand the fact, but the error into which they all seem to fall is the same. They are carried away by the heart, the feelings. There is evil in the world. Give up the world. That is the great teaching and the only teaching, no doubt. Give up world. There cannot be two opinion that to understand the truth every one of us has to give up error. There cannot be two opinions that every one of us in order to have good must give up evil. There cannot be two opinions that every one of us to have life must give up what is death. And yet, what remains to us? If this theory involves if this theory involves giving up the life of the senses, the life as we know it, and what else do we mean by life? If we give up this, what remains? We shall understand this better when later on we come to the more psychological and physiological portion of the Vedanta. But for the present, I beg to state that in Vedanta alone we find a rational solution of the problem. Here I can only lay before you what the Vedanta seeks to teach, and that is the deification of the world. The Vedanta does not in reality denounce the world. The idea of renunciation nowhere attains such a level, such a height as in the teachings of the Vedanta. But at the same time, dry suicidal advices is not interpreted. It really means the deification of the world, giving up the world as we think of it, as we know it, as it appears to us, and to know that or what it really is. Defy it. It is God alone. We read at the commencement of one of the oldest of the Upanishads, whatever exists in this universe is to be covered with the Lord. We have to cover everything with the Lord Himself, not by a false sort of optimism, not by the blinding our eyes to the evil, but by really seeing God in everything. Thus, we have to give up the world, and when the world is given up, what remains? God. What is meant? You can have your wife. It does not mean that you are to abandon her, but that you are to see God in the wife. Give up your children. What does that mean? To turn them out of door, as some human brutes do in every country. Certainly not. That is diabolism. It is not religion. But see God in your children. So, in everything, in life and in death, in happiness and in misery, the Lord is equally present. The whole world is full of the Lord. Open your eyes and see Him. This is what Vedanta teaches us. Give up the world which you have conjectured because your conjecture was based upon very partial experiences, upon very poor reasoning, and upon your own weaknesses. Give it up. The world we have been thinking of so long, the world of which we have been clinging so long, is a false world of our own creation. Give that up. Open your eyes and see that as such it never existed. It was a dream, Maya. What existed was the Lord Himself. It is He who is in the child, in the wife, and in the husband. It is He who is in the God, is in the good and in the bad. It is is the He is in the sin and in the sinner. He is in the life and in death. A tremendous exertion indeed. And that is the theme which the Vedanta want to demonstrate, to teach, and to preach. This is just the opening theme. Thus, we avoid the danger of the life and its evils. Do not desire anything. What makes us miserable? The cause of all miseries from which we suffer is desire. You desire something and the desire is not fulfilled. The result is distress. If there is no desire, there is no suffering. But so it is necessary to explain what I mean by giving up desire and becoming free from all misery. The walls have no desire and they never suffer. True, but they never evolve. This chair has no desire. It never suffers, but it is always a chair. There is a glory in happiness. There is a glory in suffering. If I may dare to say so, there is a utility in the evil too. The great lesson in misery we all know. There are hundreds of things we have done in our lives which we wish we had never done, but which at the same time have been great teachers. As for me, I am glad I have done something good and many things bad. Glad I have done something right and glad I have committed many errors. Because every one of them has been a great lesson. I, as I am now, am the resultant of all I have done, all I have thought. Every action and thought have had their effect, and this effect are the sum total of my progress. We all understand that desire are wrong, but what is meant by giving up desires? How could life go on? It would be the same suicidal advice, killing the desire and the man too. The solution is this: not that you should not have property, not that you should not have things which are necessary and things which are even luxurious. Have all that you want and more, only know the truth and realize it. Wealth does not belong to anybody. Have no idea of proprietorship and possessorship. You are nobody, nor am I, nor anyone else. All belong to the Lord, because the opening verse told us to put the Lord in everything. God is in the wealth that you enjoy. He is in the desire that rises in your mind. He is in the things you buy to satisfy your desire. He is in the beautiful attire, in your beautiful ornament. This is the line of thought. All will be metaphors as soon as you begin to see things in that light. If you put God in your every moment, in your conversation, in your form, in everything, the whole scene changes and the world, instead of appearing as one of the woe and misery, will become a heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Yes, Jesus says so, says says Jesus. So says the Vedant and every great teacher. He that hates eyes to see, let him see, and he that halts ears to hear, let him hear. The Vedant proves that the truth for which we have been searching all this time is present and was all the time within us. In our ignorance, we thought we had lost it and went about the world crying and weeping, struggling to find the truth, while all along it was dwelling in our own heart. There alone can we find it. If we understand the giving up of the world in its old crude sense, then it would come to this, that we must not work, that we must be idle, sitting like lumps of earth, neither thinking nor doing anything, but must become fatalist, driven about by even circumstances, ordered about by the law of nature, drifting from place to place. That would be the result. But that is not what is meant. We must work. Ordinary mankind, driven everywhere by false desire, what do they know of work? The man propelled by his own feelings and his own senses, what does he know about work? He works who is not propelled by his own desire, by any selfishness whatsoever. He works who has no ulterior motive in view. He works who has nothing to gain from work, who enjoys the picture, the sailor and or the seer. The sailor is busy with his accounts, computing what his gain will be, how much profit he will rise on the picture. His brain is full of that. He is looking at the hammer and watching the beats. He is intent on hearing how fast the bids are rising. The man is enjoying the picture who has gone there without any intention of buying and selling. He looks at the picture and enjoys it. So this whole universe is a picture. And when this desire have vanished, man will enjoy the world. And then this buying and selling and this foolish ideas of possession will be ended. The money lender gone, the buyer gone, the seller gone. This world remains the picture and a beautiful painting. I never read of any more beautiful conceptions of God than the following. He is the great poet, the ancient poet. The whole universe is his poem, coming in verses and rhythms, written in infinite bliss. When we have given up desires, then alone shall we be able to read and enjoy this universe of God. Then everything will become defined, nooks and corners, byways and shady places which we thought dark and unholy will be all defied. They will all reveal their true nature, and we shall smile at ourselves and think that all this weeping and crying has been but child's play, and we were only standing by watching. So do your work, says the Vedant. If first advises us how to work by giving up the apparent elusive world. What is meant by that? Seeing God everywhere, Thus do you work. Desire to live 100 years. Have all earthly desires. If you wish, only defy them, convert them into heaven. Have the desire to live a long life of helpfulness, of blissfulness, and activity on this earth. Thus, walking, you will find the way out. There is no other way. If a man plunges head along, headlong into foolish luxuries of the world without knowing the truth, he has missed his footing. He cannot reach the goal. And if a man curses the world, goes into the forest, fortifies his flesh, and kills himself little by starvation, makes his heart a barren waste, killing all killing out all feelings and become harsh, stern and dry up. That man also has missed the way. There are the two extreme and two mistakes at either end. Both have lost the way, both have missed the goal. So walk, says the Vedant, putting God in everything and knowing Him to be in everything. Walk incessantly, insa- incessantly to holding life as something defined as God Himself and knowing that this is all we have to do, this is all we should ask for. God is everything. Where else shall we go to find Him? He is already in every work, in every thought, in every feeling. Thus, knowing we must walk. This is the only way, there is no other. Thus, the effect of work will not bind us. We have seen how false desires are the cause of all this misery and evil we suffer. But when they are thus defied, purified through God, they bring no evil, they bring no misery. Those who have not learned this secret will have to live in a demonical world until they discover it. Many do not know that what an infinite mind of bliss is in them, around them, everywhere. They have not yet discovered it. What is a demonical world? The Vedanta says ignorance. We are dying of thirst, sitting on the banks of the mightiest river. We are dying of hunger, sitting near the laps of foods. Here is the blissful universe, yet we do not know or do not find it. We are in it all the time and we are always mistaking it. Religion proposes to find this out for us. Along for this bliss, universe is in all hearts. It has been the search of all nations. It is the one goal of religion, and this idea is expressed in various languages in different religions. It is only the difference of languages that makes all this apparently divergence. One expression or thought, one expression of a thought in one way, another little differentiately, at perhaps each is meaning exactly what the other is expressing in a different language. More questions arise in the connection with it. It is very easy to talk. From my childhood, I have heard all saying or seeing God everywhere and in everything, and then I can really enjoy the world. But as soon as I mix with the world and get a few blows from it, the idea vanishes. I am walking in the street thinking that God is in every man, and a strong man comes along and gives me a push, and I fall flat on the footpath. Then I rise up quickly with the clenched fist, and the blood has rushed to my head, and the reflection goes. Immediately I have become mad. Everything is forgotten. Instead of encountering God, I see the devil. Ever since we are born, we have been told to see God in all. Every religion teaches that. See God in everything and everywhere. Do you not remember in the Testament how Christ says so? We have all been taught that. But it is when we come to the practical side that the difficulty begin. You all remember how in Aesop's fables a fine stag is looking at his own reflection in the lake and is saying to his young ones, how powerful I am. Look at my splendid head. Look at my limbs, how strong and muscular they are, and how stiffy I can run. In the meantime, he hears a barking dog in the distance and immediately takes to his heels. And after he was running several miles, he comes back panting. The young one says, you just told me how strong you were. How was it that when a dog barked, you ran away? Yes, my son, but when the dog barks, all my confidence vanishes. Such is the case with us. We think highly of humanity. We feel ourselves strong and valiant. We make grand resolutions, but when the dog of the trail and temptation barks, we are like the stag in the fable. Then, if such is the case, what is the use of teaching of all these things? There is a greatest use. The use is this, that perseverance will finally conquer. Nothing can be done in a day. This self is first to be heard, then it has to be thought upon, and then meditated upon. Everyone can see the sky. Even the very warm crawling upon the ground sees the blue sky, but how very far away it is. So it is with our idea. It is far away, no doubt, but at the same time, we know that we must have it. We must even have the highest idea. Unfortunately, in this life, the vast majority of persons are groping through the dark life without any idea at all. If a man with an idea makes 1,000 mistakes, I am sure that the man without an idea makes 50,000. Therefore, it is better to have an idea, and this idea we must hear about as much as we can till it enters into our heart, into our brain, into our veins, until it tangles in every drop of our blood, permeates every pores of our body. We must meditate upon it. Out of the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks, and out of fullness of the heart, the hand works too. It is thought which is the propelling force in us. Fill the mind with the highest thought. Hear them day after day. Think them month after month. Never mind failures. They are quite natural. They are the beauty of life. These failures. What would life be without them? It would not be worthy having if it were not for struggles. Where would be the poetry of life? Never mind the struggles, the mistakes. I never heard a cow tell a lie, but it is only a cow, never a man. So, never mind these failures, these little backsliding times. Make the attempt once more. The idea of man is to see God in everything. But if you cannot see Him in everything, see Him in one thing, and in that thing which you like best, and then see Him in another. So on you can go. There is infinite life before the soul. Take your time and you will achieve your end. He, the one who vibrates more quickly than mind, who attends to more speed than mind can ever do, whom even the gods reach out, reach not, nor thought grasps. He moving, everything moves. In him all exist. He is moving. He is also immovable. He is near and he is far. He is inside everywhere. He is outside everywhere, interpenetrating everywhere. Whoever sees in every being that same Atma, and whoever sees everything in that Atma, he never goes far from the Atma. When all the life and the whole universe are seen in that Atma, then alone a man has attained the secret. There is no more delusion for him. Where is any more misery for him who sees this oneness in the universe? This is another great theme of the Vedant, this oneness of life, this oneness of everything. We shall see how it demonstrates that all our misery comes through the ignorance, and this ignorance is the idea of manfoldness. This separation between man and man, between nation and nation, between earth and moon, between moon and sun, out of the idea of separation between the atom and atom comes all misery. But the Vedantas say this separation does not exist, it is not real, it is merely apparent on the surface. In the heart of the things, there is unity still. If you go beyond the surface, you find the unity between man and man, between race and races, high and low, rich and poor, God and man, man and animal. If you go deep enough, all will be seen as one only, has only variations of one, and he who has attained to this conception of oneness has no more delusion. What can delude him? He knows the reality of everything, the secret of everything. Where is there any more misery for him? What does he desire? He has traced the reality of everything to the Lord, the center, the unity of everything, and that is eternal existence, eternal knowledge, eternal bliss. Neither death nor disease, nor sorrow, nor misery, nor discontent is there. All the perfect union and perfect bliss. For whom should he more then? In reality, there is no death, there is no misery. In reality, there is no one to more for, no one to be sorry for. He has penetrated everything, the pure one, the formless, the bodiless, the stainless. The knower, he, the great poet, he, the self existent, he who is giving to everything, to everyone, what he desires or what he deserves. They group in darkness who worship this ignorant world, the world that is produced out of ignorance, thinking of it as existent, and those who live their whole life in the world and never find anything better or higher are groping in still greater darkness. But he who knows the secret of nature, seeing that which is beyond nature through the help of nature, he crosses that, and through the help of that which is beyond nature, he enjoys eternal bliss. Thou son, who hast covered the truth with the golden disk, do do thou remove the veil, so that I may see the truth that is within thy. I have known the truth that is within thy. I have known what is the real meaning of thy ray, thy glory, and have seen that which shines in thy. The truth is thy I see, and that which is within thy is within me, and I am that. The truth is thy I see, and that which is within thy is within me, and I am that.